I think we're finally into that point where Xbox is going to start to come even more into its own. And I realize that's something that people said all the time, and that even myself might have said it at various times. But clearly, Microsoft is onto something. When you have 30 odd studios, which they'll have after the Activision deal closes, then you kind of start to notice that, hey, things are starting to come together in a way that they envisioned all along. And I feel like that is a critically important thing to keeping Xbox going in the future. And what I mean by that is it's going to be a good mix. Like, for a long time, Minecraft helped to carry Xbox. Like, Xbox making a bunch of money and things like that. That's what it's all about for the people who work at Microsoft, right? They don't care about us gamers at all. While the people at Xbox could care, and I would assume that even some of the people at Sony, the Yoshidas, I'm sure that they care about the games and the gamers and things like that. But obviously, like, the higher up suits don't really care about anything except for the money. But when it comes down to it, I think it's going to be really just the content stuff. And I've been saying this for multiple years. Content is king. And, that's going to be the key point to all of this. Like, are they going to be able to keep up with demand? Are they going to be able to keep the content rolling? That's going to be a huge thing that we see come sooner or later. Like, they're going to have to stand on their own. So when you see stuff like this, I think it really reaches into like a good level. Because for me, if you look at it, and I stick by what I'm saying right here. This, for some reason, this comes across as controversial to some people, and I don't know why. So when it comes to first party, and we're just talking first party only, and new stuff, so not like remasters or remakes or anything like that. So 2020, Sony's first party definitely beat Microsoft's. 2021, Microsoft's definitely beat Sony's. Sony's first party only released Ratchet and Clank as a new game. Yes, they released Returnal, but they didn't even buy that studio until after the fact. And then that was it. They released some remasters, like Director's Cut of Ghost of Tsushima and Director's Cut of, what the hell is that other game? Death Stranding or whatever. It wasn't a great year for Sony. Microsoft ended the year releasing like 4 or 5 straight games in the Game Pass, like Psychonauts 2, which was the Game of the Year contender. Forza Horizon 5, which actually did win IGN's Game of the Year. Halo Infinite, which I know it's easy to poke fun of Halo Infinite right now, but when it launched, people didn't really have a problem with it. It had a fun campaign, and the multiplayer was good. So it wasn't until after the fact that people really kind of started to hate on that, unfortunately. And, now it's like people just want to know, when the games are coming. And I think we have a good lineup of games this year, and I think they're going to sneak 1 or 2 more into this year. But one of my favorite games got an update, one of my favorite franchises, and this is something that kind of leaked out unexpectedly, which is exciting. Hey everybody, I'm Crab Gamer. This is Crab Gamer Reviews with another video. Please give my video a liking, give it a slapping, give it a thumbing, however you want to do it. I would really appreciate it. It's just much appreciated at this particular point. Microsoft has a lot of things going on right now, a lot of games in development, and one of them that is my personal favorite is the Fable games, right? Like, I so badly want to play Fable. I know I don't usually advocate for remakes or anything, but I gotta be honest, I would just absolutely love a complete remake of the first 3 Fable games, or at least one of them. I know they did the Fable Anniversary, but I already pretty much got all the achievements available on that. I would just love to see like a complete remake of 2 and 3, to be honest with you. I know people had issues with 3. I liked the way that 3 played out, like where your decisions mattered and you could do something there to get more money, and it was more of a bad decision or whatever. So yeah, I kind of like that. Like I said, I would just love to see something like that happen, and everybody wants to know what's going on with this Fable right now, right? So I had this discussion on Crossfire Podcast the other day, and everybody was saying, well, how long is it got to take Microsoft's developers to do something? They announced this game in 2020, and I'm like, well, we're in early 2023, so a game announced in 2020 doesn't even have 3 years of development under it. I get that, like, Fable in particular probably started a year earlier than that. Fable's 20th year anniversary is coming up next year. So now, according to this, and according to a Q&A technician at Playground Games, which, again, this is shout out to my buddy Idle Sloth, Fable is in flighting test stage at Playground. So you might go, flighting test? What's that? Well, if you guys remember, Halo Infinite went under flighting test where people would, play the game and test it or whatever. And you can usually look at, there's various stages of this, but 6 to 10, 12 months out, usually is a good kind of point of time. So there's been a lot of negative rumors around this. Microsoft has rebuffed these, and now it looks like they're performing flighting tests as well as developing test cases for smoke testing, animation, and flighting testing as well. So that's really cool. So this person, his name's Simon Kent. He works at Playground Games, and he's performing and developing test cases for smoke testing, animation, and flighting testing to promote and deploy new builds of content. Perform daily smoke tests across all development areas: combat, traversal, animation, management and ownership, flighting. So he's doing all this stuff for Fable, right? Which I think is really cool because, like I said, this is a game that I've been looking forward to for a very long time. Obviously, Fable has always been one of my favorite franchises. I just one of the reasons I like it is it's kind of this fantasy RPG with like this element of humor to it that I find to be very, very funny. And it doesn't take itself too seriously either, and there's a lot to do, and it's like, I get that it didn't always meet expectations and things like that, thanks to Peter Molyneux, but for me, like, I thought that they handled like the relationships, the kids, all that kind of stuff much better than than other games, right? Like, seriously, you could you could get married in that, but you had to like get them a ring and date them, and you could have kids, but if you were abusive, you could lose your kids. Like, you could get you could get STDs, right? Like, I don't know, like, to me, this is just such an interesting content, all the stuff that you were able to do in there. When they introduced the dog, that was just really cool, and I thought that was just an awesome thing, and just like I said, there was a lot of content. It was fun. They gave you lots of cool things to do. Like, I even liked, even though I'll get hate for this, I even liked Fable The Journey, which was the Kinect game, right? I beat that over like a day and a half period when it first came out. Loved the game, thought it was really good. Yeah, it was on rails or whatever. Some people didn't like that, but for what it was, I thought it was good. And, I like that franchise. I just think there's something special there, and I want to see more from it, and that's why I'm excited by this. So content is on the way. Looks like even more stuff is happening. Let me know what you think, though. Sound off, rate, come subscribe, rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a good thumbing. Crap gamer out.